So yeah, this is the bridge. Thanks for being with us, Andy.
Look, I appreciate Kate. This is such a passionate place. I mean, one for educators,
Mhm.
knowing, yeah, going from middle school special education to fifth grade. I taught, but in my local school, fifth grade is in the middle school. And so
Oh,
I
really?
never
Oh,
left, I
interesting.
never left middle school. And so it's a lot of fun of fifth grade through eighth grade. And then I coached, but, that's where my love of, assistive technology to be able to support
Yeah.
students, at all abilities and levels and needs, but also to find that accessibility, feature within any tool. And so that's where my passion kind of started from. And then
Yeah.
using that in the classroom, then being a tech coach. And of course, things have evolved and lots of different connections and bridging into a variety of different roles outside of the traditional classroom in school.
Mhm.
So no, this is great. Thank you.
I love it. So yeah, can we talk a minute about assistive tech and special and
Yeah.
your time in special ed? So I also am I never left middle school either, except one year, my first year teaching was at a high school in New York City. It was intense, very much Michelle Pfeiffer in Dangerous Minds, very much. And
Kick your feet up and just
yeah,
have, I got you.
there are no victims in this classroom, right? Like so, and then middle school and didn't leave for 9 years or 10 total in the classroom, but never special ed. And I teach teacher candidates now, and I have a lot of teacher candidates that in my classes that are pursuing special ed certificates, which makes me so happy. So tell me about how you landed there.
It, I, Goodness. I mean, family, friends growing up, and really it's just a space that I not to say felt called to know
Yeah.
that when you're teaching to one, you're teaching to all,
Yeah.
in that idea. And I I don't know, my background was a dual major in special ed and L-Ed. So,
Wow.
special ed K-12, L-Ed K-6. And
Wow.
yeah, it wasn't like this is the only thing there, but it just was a space that I love to see. That of course we all like to see that aha moment, but also to know that, you know students, it's not necessarily like special, like like things. It's just they just need that, that
Yeah.
extra guidance or that assistive tool or device or idea that
Hmm.
just makes it click. And um, with technology, of course, now it opens so many doors,
Yeah.
and seeing so many things have it built into it makes that really
Yeah.
exciting. Um, but it's always one of those pieces of when I see something, and I remember being in the middle school, going to a conference and seeing something that's like, oh, this would be great for that class, or this works. That would
Yeah.
be that difference maker, differentiator
Mm.
for that project. And uh, you know, sending those on to teachers and saying, hey, have you seen this or have you tried this? And so I was always about, that pilot program or trying something out, and you ran out of your 3 month subscription or whatever
Yeah.
the small access that you have. And but then what is worth it and what's not. And yeah.
Totally. I would tell people all the time, like, don't like try it before you buy it, right?
Mhm.
Because there's some amazing solutions out there, but you may find that there's one that just is the right fit. And so is that how you came across your time at Microsoft? And then Canva, you worked at Canva also.
A little bit, yeah. So
Let's talk about it. Like get in.
it's bridged, yeah, from the classroom. And really the time at Microsoft started with social media, and that's the beauty of it, of
Ah.
just connecting and
Mhm.
advocating, celebrating each other. And so I, for many years, I taught and then I coached, and then I was posting things, of course, from my own personal account and sharing what we're doing in the classroom. But then with Flipgrid, that hopefully you've heard of, but that was
Oh
just
yes.
a really great community and space that I, of course, fell in love with, still
Yeah.
love, there's that
Yeah.
community there. But for sharing ideas. And I will say that it was an afternoon. I got a message from Joey Tarleson, who's part of
Yeah.
the team, and you know, a great person I look up to, admire. But he had messaged me on the side. I was like, hey, do you have time to talk sometime? And so that opened up the door of saying, hey, we have this, and of course now after the fact of it, but it was like, we have this special group that, they help run our social media after, the workday is done essentially in their office. And so I was part of a special group that we were like the night shift, the special like group that like I taught all day and then I worked at night. And
Oh
so
my
for
gosh.
many years, like I said, I taught and then I was on social, and that was that community engagement and, just seeing the awesome things that people around the world are doing,
Mm,
giving that front line of support and success, giving them guidance or direction, connecting them with, hey, have you seen what Anne's doing, or have you seen
yeah.
this what Jen's doing, uh, and to be able to make those connections was really special. But that then evolved into a few years later when an opportunity opened up to say, hey, we've got this like full position on our team, and are you
The
interested is
dream,
it,
Angie.
yeah.
That is the dream.
And so I still feel like it's a dream. And I mean, I'm always, there's always that, the dream out there of like, oh,
Yeah.
what is that next thing kind of thing.
Uh-huh.
But
Uh-huh.
it is when opportunity knocks, you open the door.
I
And
love it.
so that was really what opened it up was, of course, being I mean, sharing. And that, I mean, I think of like, all right, where did this start from? And it's openly sharing and supporting and helping. And it's not like
Totally.
I'm only posting stuff because I'm getting paid for, or I'm only going to promote
Right.
something at a conference if I get like that was what was made it so special of, and seeing people that make that bridge between the classroom and
Yeah.
companies of, they're doing it because they believe in it. They believe in, what
Yes.
the product is, but also what the outcome. It's not, the product, but it's like what do you get out of it and the impact of it. And
Mm-hmm.
so just sharing those kinds of moments open that natural like, hey, there's something here. And so that's
Yeah.
what then started me with community engagement with them, and then doing global training and PD. And yeah, so that's where that started from within Flipgrid, that evolved to Flip, and then the Math
Yep.
Solver. And um, yeah, so I mean, you brought up Canva, and of course that evolved after the sunset of Flip,
Okay.
a couple years ago, and or I guess just a little over a year and a half ago, or,
Yeah, I
almost.
know,
Oh
right?
my goodness, it's actually, as I look at the date here in October, I mean, I mean, Flip went offline about a year ago this last
Yeah.
week. So, but
Yeah.
yeah, so I mean, to say like I needed to find something else. I have my wife; she
Yeah.
teaches. We actually met teaching together.
Oh my
Uh,
God, I love it.
and so, yeah, she taught special ed in the middle school, and then she transitioned to teaching fourth grade, and now is a STEM teacher at the elementary. But that's where we met, was teaching together, and
That's awesome.
so we have two kids in school. But it's a like, of course, I need to
Okay. Need to work.
provide. Yeah, 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 exactly. So that's where the work evolved to Canva Education
Okay.
and being a trainer for them. And yeah, so a little bit of a at Microsoft, went to Canva doing trainings for them
Okay.
and onboarding training, and then now with Minecraft. And again, another
Yes.
opportunity knocked,
Wow.
and they're like, hey, we have this community position for our education community. And I, of course, love Minecraft, use it in my classroom.
Uh-huh.
And it was one of those professional goals when I discovered my school district had it. And it was like, before I really like dive into learn how can I effectively use this in my classroom, do we have access?
Yeah.
And when I found out that we had thousands of licenses, that my school hadn't toggled that enablement. And it was like
Jackpot.
this is like, yeah, jackpot moment. And it's like, and I found that out at ISTE, many summers ago. And so before I even left like Philadelphia is where it was, but I emailed my CTO, I emailed my building administrators, and I was like, this is now my professional goal. Like, I want to find a way to make
Wow.
this a success in our classrooms because of so many learning potential and abilities there. And so
So
using
much.
it, and that's the thing is it's about what can we do and what can we teach, and the I mean there's no ceiling to it, and that's what makes it so exciting.
Totally. And so you're doing community engagement, is that right? At
Well,
Minecraft, or
so
what are you doing
yeah,
there?
so community, so our global community all around the world.
Mhm.
And so we have our Minecraft Teachers Lounge, which is a Facebook group, and then we have our ambassadors. There's a little over 12,000 in our global community in the Teachers Lounge, where we have events and connections and support. But then our ambassadors help lead and share their voice and giving ideas. Um,
So cool.
and so yeah, so that's my jam, is just being that person, connecting, advocating for teachers and students with their
Wow.
needs in the classroom with Minecraft education, but then relaying that back to engineers and developers and creators, and with the main Minecraft team.
That's
And so that's
amazing.
yeah, empowering, advocating for teachers is what it's about. Yeah.
Um, that's an amazing job. Like, really, just listening to you say, I mean, I think about so many educators that are trying to figure out if classroom teaching is what they want to do in education, right? And I think it's tricky because we get into education and it's like it's already decided for you that you want to be a teacher, you're going to be in the classroom. And yet there's so many opportunities like that you've uncovered just by sharing and advocating. And I wonder, like, in your position being connected to so many teachers, are do people ask you like, how did you do this? Like, do you think there's a hunger in educators to have options like this, or what? Like, do you get asked that question a lot?
I mean, it's one of those. Some people don't. I mean, I mean, I love teaching. Like, my
Yeah.
wife teaches. I mean, it's one of those that, like, I go to her class and it's still that exciting moment, and when I can.
Yeah.
Um, but the idea of going to a classroom, or even I think of, like, my daughter. She's in dance, and so I'm at the dance studio, and I'm working out, at a table there, and another girl, I have no idea, but she walks up, or she walks up to a nearby table, sits down. She has like a math homework page, and she has her, her watch, and I won't say like these, my phone and my watch will activate, but be like, hey, what is the greatest common factor between 8 and 12? And her watch throws back the answer,
Uh-huh.
and she's like writing it, and then she's looking at it, and I was like, do you need help? And so, like, she's like, yeah. She's like,
Can't not teach.
I don't know what this, yeah, like, I don't know what this is. And so it's like, all right, find out, what are these, what are
Oh
the
my
multiples
God.
and the factors. And so, I mean, we broke down, it was really cool, but it's one of those, like, I'm never not going to be a teacher. So when
Right.
people ask, like,
Right.
what do you do? It's like, well, I'm a teacher, but, like,
Yeah.
there's more to it than
Yeah.
me and a job. And like,
Yeah.
deep down, teaching is still who I am. Like, I love it. I
Totally.
still have those moments of, like, oh, like this day in history, I scroll back on my pictures, and I think, like, oh, like, that was such a cool project. Like, if I were to
Oh,
do it again, like, this would be how I, not to be like an old country song, but, like, I wish I knew then what I knew now.
what I know now.
And
Yeah.
yeah, and I would approach things differently, but at the same time,
Uh-huh.
um, there's so much more, like, there, and
Yeah.
the resources that are possible. So,
Totally.
yes, I mean, some people have asked of, like, how'd you get to what do I do? And it's I mean, I will say, like, it's a hustle. There's it's definitely more
Yeah.
than what people, of course, see, like what's on screen or whatever gets posted.
Yes.
And, like, there's a lot more going on.
Mhm.
I mean, there's a grind and a hustle to it. But at the same time, it I love what I do. And
Yeah.
the people I've worked with in the past have been phenomenal, but um, it's still that, like I said, in what you just commented. I mean, it's advocating for teachers and like making it as impactful as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What do you think is, if you had to say, like, what's the secret sauce of building community? Since
that's
you've been
like
doing it for a while. I know it's a big question.
um,
Maybe what's
I,
your secret
my
sauce? Because you've been doing it.
it's a hard, and I will say like it's a hard thing because you can't measure it, and it's the constant like, but
Totally. Oh my God.
love and passion and
Mhm.
joy, like
I had
it,
Manny on the,
yeah. Oh, Manny,
yeah.
yes,
And
yes,
his whole thing
yes.
was, how do you measure love? And I'm
You,
like, you're right. How do
yeah,
you?
and that is the thing of, and I mean, any company, any corporate, kind of place. I mean, it's all there. I mean, there's a lot of numbers out there, but at the
Yeah.
same time, just like in schools, they look at, metrics and numbers, but we all
Yeah.
know our students are more than numbers. We know they're
Yeah.
more than a test score, just like any performance indicator is more than a number. I mean, there's numbers
Yeah.
involved, but like love and appreciation, and I mean, we could rattle off quotes of,
Yeah.
of inspiration, of, people that do, there are people who feel appreciated do more than what's expected. And, um, I mean, like I talked about with, Joey, messaging and saying, hey, we see what you're doing. Like, we want you to do that, but for us, but it's like pouring out that love of like, hey, there's a connection here. There's an idea
Yeah.
that somebody else had, and I want to, share that with you and relay and make these connections. And um, I mean, I think of my teammates. I mean, responding to fan mail is like that's love, and I mean that's energy. It's time, but that
Totally.
makes a difference, and they are
Mhm.
phenomenal people. To recognize how important that is, and so to say like, what's the secret sauce? I mean, like I said, love and passion and
Yeah.
joy and
Authenticity, right?
yeah,
Like
uh,
really genuinely. Interesting. I think you know what strikes me, and I've been so lucky because on the bridge we have an episode with Anne, I have an episode with Jess, I have an episode with Jornay, I have an episode like
they're all my people. Yeah.
I know. And now you. And what strikes me about the Flip community, um, as it was and as it is, because I don't really feel like it's gone away. I just feel
Oh
like
no.
it looks really different, like, but but um
Well, I think it's a ripple effect. Like, I mean, it's like
yeah.
you talked about. I mean, those are I love every one of those people you just
Yeah,
named, and
I
but
know.
that community, and that's the beauty of it is community doesn't have borders in that sense of like friendship doesn't
Right.
stop at a brand, and it doesn't stop like no matter where we all started from and globally,
Yeah.
like it's more than just like the team, and that's the important thing to say. Like, and Jess, Jornay, like I mean, myself and Scott. I mean, I could rattle off the people, but
Yeah.
it's more than it's never about the team, the Flipgrid team. It's always about the
No.
people
Yeah.
and how each of us, and I mean like us as a community, not the main brand team, but like how
Yep.
we all have rippled outward into other spaces and
Mhm.
into whether you are at the same building that you were teaching at 5 years ago or 10 years ago, you're making an impact in another place. And that ripple effect follows you and it
Yep.
continues to go outward. So, um, yeah, I mean, it's maybe not the same name, but we're all like
You
we're still ourselves, but just
yeah.
making new ripples outward and impacting others. And I mean, that's the beauty of the community idea of,
Mhm.
just, yeah, empowering each other to see their potential and know
Mhm.
that they can make a difference wherever they are.
Exactly. And to truly embrace all. And that's what strikes me about everyone that has found a chapter of their life with that Flip community. It's like it's about so much about belonging and representation and um celebrating, and just I am struck by how inclusive that community is, and how I really feel like in my time, kind of similar to you, I spent a chapter myself doing like kind of doing like a grassroots movement called Connected TL, Connected Teacher Leader, and we were running Twitter chats weekly, and we were on Voxer constantly, and we were, it was that chapter where if we were connecting, it was there, and it was like 2013, 14, 15, and it was incredible. I was doing this with a few other people, but it was out of love. Nobody was paying us to do this, there was no like ulterior motive, just like survival, and then seeing that like what I needed is what so many other people needed, and we were helping each other. We were each other's bat phones. Like it was incredible. And then that similarly turned into a position at Q for me as director of member engagement, where they basically hired me to engage all teachers in California, which was incredible as well. And it, like, your story reminds me, it makes me think of like, wow, I think because I was doing that out of, that's where this opportunity and came from and continues to come from. And I think um what's really unique about what's happening right now with community, based on um like all of us that had kind of started 10, 12 years ago, and now we're here, is like we all started from like our hearts, and now we've kind of committed to doing this work at a solution level. And like what happens you know what I mean? But like we're still like the same people that just like did it because we loved it. So it's just interesting, as I think about your journey, and I think about the others, like how you've had worn this hat and this hat and this hat, but it's been you the whole time. And I think that's inspiring. And I hope that educators hear that and go and remember their, like, what they uniquely bring, that it's not about the school they work at. It's not about the class that they're teaching this year. It's about all the ripples that they've done over the years, and that all matters. Um,
Yeah, there's always, I mean, every teacher I'm sure has a folder, and this is a prime time of the year to go back to that folder or that box, and you have your student notes and or
Mine's
like
right here.
I
Mine is in here.
yeah, and but that's those are those pieces of like to have that message.
Oh.
Like I was at the hardware store, in town here, and
Uh-huh.
um, the cashier, I mean, she's an old student of mine, and
Oh, I love
like
it.
she's like, I just wanted to let you know, like, it really meant a lot. Like, I was going through some tough times, and like that was a rough year, and
Wow.
your class just was like inclusive and accepting, and it just is like that means a lot. Like, it takes a lot of work and energy to like
Oh.
pour your heart and like be there no matter what is going on personally or
Mhm.
outward, and what's going on in the school or whatever else is going
Yeah.
on in the world, and you show up for your kids, and just like we show up for our colleagues, our teammates, I mean
Yep.
for each other all around the world. But to have a kid that remembers you, and I mean that was I mean, oh my gosh, about 8, 9 years ago that I had her,
Wow.
and but for her to remember and to say that. But then another
Yeah.
kid that I was at my son's at a practice, and another kid, he's like, Mr. K, and I was like, yeah. I mean, we all kind of grew up, and I mean, it took a moment
Yeah.
where when I see them every day when they're 10, and then later on when they're 18, I mean, they've
Yeah.
grown to
Yeah.
young men and women. And to he was like, Mr. K, he's like, do you remember? Because I always ended every semester with wrapping up the semester, where kids wrote original song rhymes or raps about what we did in class, and so
So cool.
it was like a fun way to one. I mean, every classroom has that moment of like, what do I do? Like, we've turned in all of our devices. We've like, what do we do?
Yeah.
But you can still sing, you can still have fun
Yeah.
and be creative and make those connections. But we always perform them. And then kids could either like work in groups. And I always said, like, you can go solo, you can go, in a duo, a trio, a barbershop quartet, or if you want a children's
So,
choir, you could go for it. But whatever
oh
you
my
do,
God.
go platinum, have that mic drop moment. And, but he was like, do you remember rapping in math class? And he's like, we still pull up the recording every once in a while. Like he and his friends were part of my class, but they're still in class
My
together. And he's
gosh.
like, we still watch those, from time to time. And it just
My
was like so
God.
cool to know that like like those, they may not remember the Pythagorean
Mhm.
theorem, or they may not
Right.
like remember all these like finite details, but they know how we made them feel. They know how each other enjoyed
Totally.
class and wanted to be there. Um, and yeah, it's those special moments, but like having that folder to go back and look at and know like you make a difference is
Yep.
huge.
Yep. Well, I think that's the perfect way to wrap the episode. And I I have a VHS actually of some of my high school students performing commercials because for persuasive writing. And I recorded it on an old like video camera
Yeah. Yeah.
from
Oh
my
yeah. The
first year
VHS you
teaching.
have that. Yeah.
Yes. Oh my God, I gotta unearth it. I need to find a
You have to get the
VCR.
cables to be able to plug in. Yeah. I can say that's the next. You're gonna have to find a whole bunch of
That's my
converters. And
homework.
yeah.
Well, thank you so much. We'll have all of your contact info. And you know what I'm thinking too? Like you mentioned ambassadors and like if is there like is there information for people that would be like interested in doing Minecraft, being a Minecraft ambassador? Like is that a link you could share that we could put in the show notes? Is that a thing?
And so that's our global Minecraft Teachers Lounge group on Facebook. But I mean, that's
Oh,
the first
love
place to get
that.
started.
That's
And
amazing.
then from there, we have, trainings and additional kind of supports that you can watch on demand, async. But
That's cool.
that's to get started. And then we, like our ambassador program, of course, going through those additional steps. But we have, and that's the thing is get connected.
That's
And
it,
yeah,
right?
exactly.
Just start there. Just get connected. I love it. Well, thank you, Andy, for your
Thank
time
you,
and
Kate.
your
Oh my.
energy and your love.
Yeah.
I know. I feel so lucky to have had this time with you. And like now when I get to see you at the next conference, I'll give you a big hug.
I can't wait. Yes, I would say wherever that will be, whenever, yeah, and multiples ahead, throughout wherever they are. But I look forward
Wherever.
to those real life connections that,
I know.
they're just as real. So
Totally. Oh, awesome. Thank you.
thank you.
Okay.